o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Wilde Brewing Company, and this is their Shoot to Thrill Southern Hemisphere IPA, coming in at 6% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Again, a massive thank you to Lee W and Daniel Bale for providing me with this beer to review today. They're based in Leeds, Wilde Brewing Company. Let's get this can out into a glass and see what we get. Whoa. Nice bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. And the can a bit of a whirl round. It might be a can condition beer. Oh, look, yeah, look at the sediment. Look at that. Giving that beer a bit of a whirl round. Look at that for a beer. Now, some of you might be looking at this thinking, that's not for me. That's not for me. But when I look at a beer like this, I just think that last bit of the can swirl, that really important bit of flavour, has been emptied out into the can, into the glass, sorry, and you've got a much more kind of flavoursome beer. All of that sediment in there, all of that flavour at the bottom of the can is flavour. It's hop particles, it's bits of kind of yeast and unfiltered goodness and bits of malt, and it's more flavour. When you see a really clear beer, you know, like a really clear lager or a really clear pale ale, a lot of the goodness, a lot of the flavour has been filtered out down the drain just to make the beer look nice and clear. You don't drink with your eyes, you drink with your mouth. Wow, what a lovely looking beer. One finger whitehead. Hazy looking beer, slow moving carbonation. There's bits of sediment, there's bits of kind of yeast and everything floating around in the bottom of this glass. Perfect. I mean, it's a hazy, I'd say if it was clear, it was definitely amber in colour. Let's get the aroma. Oh, it smells fantastic. Absolutely terrific. Passion fruit, mango, grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange. Oh, it smells really good. I'm going to dive into this one. It smells fantastic. Fantastic. Brilliant. Let's dive in. Cheers. It tastes amazing. Amazing. What a fantastic beer. Oh, I've got to put that down. So full of flavour. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. What an amazing beer. And I've said it a few times now. Let's touch on the beer first, and we'll get into the kind of the side story of me and Wild Child, and because I've said it a few times in the reviews. And let's stick to the beer first. So you're starting off with that little bit of sweetness to begin with. It's a really good bodied beer. Well-bodied, well-rounded beer. Starts off with a bit of sweetness, a little bit of kind of light biscuit wafer-like malts. Loads of flavour in the middle, all your passion fruit and mango and grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange. And then there's a nice bitterness on the back end. Wild Child here in this beer are not afraid to accept and embrace, that's the word, embrace the bitterness of a beer. And they bang on. They bang on. The Southern Hemisphere IPA. Now, do I have... Right, I've been being sent beers for the last 3 or 4 years by two wonderful people in Australia. Mick and Trav. I've got one here to review shortly. This is Kaiju Beer's Mutation Programme. Beyond the Black River, and it's a barrel-aged stout at 11% ABV. just to show you that, you know, I'm not making this kind of stuff up. But so I'm privileged over the last 3 or 4 years to have drunk many kind of IPAs and pale ales from Australia. Triple IPAs, double IPAs, New England IPAs, all these wonderful beers. But generally, what I've picked up on is that the Australians like a bit of bitterness in their beer. A lot of the IPAs, certainly the IPAs that come from Mick and Trav, are bitter. There's bitterness on the back end. They're embracing that bitterness. Unless, of course, you're grabbing a New England IPA. But I would say the majority of Australian beer still has that kind of nice rasping bitterness. So Wild Child Brewing Company here, Southern Hemisphere IPA, I mean, it could be from New Zealand, Australia, you know, Fiji, those sort of areas. But generally they enjoy a bit of bitterness. So they bang on. They bang on with the style with this beer. Pick the beer back up now. Great lacing on the glass. As I rock the beer back and forth, you can see the carbonation chasing the head of the glass here. I'll touch on that story very quickly. That's terrific. That is a terrific, really lovely, well put together IPA. Loads of grapefruit and passion fruit and mango, orange peel, so much kind of tropical fruit flavours in the middle of the beer. But sweetness and bitterness just to help balance the beer. So very quickly with my story, because you've probably heard this before. My first Wild Child beer was from Morrison's. And I didn't like it. I was like, what on earth is this? And I want to be quick with this because I've mentioned this story a few times. Since then, Lee W. from Leeds has sent me some beers down, and I tried a couple in Morrison since then. He sent them to Daniel Bale. I met Daniel Bale. Daniel Bale passed them on to me. And if it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't have been rushing out to buy Wild Child Brewing Company's beers. But after trying the beers that have been sent to me by Lee W, they're terrific. They're absolutely terrific. And if I ever see a Wild Child beer down here in South Wales, in our local kind of bottle shops, then my goodness me, I'm going to pick up what they have on the shelf. It's terrific beer. It's been a complete eye-opener for me. And it proves, if you have one slightly dodgy beer from a brewery, give them a second chance. Give them, give them time to develop. That is wonderful beer. Wonderful beer. Australia and New Zealand are amongst the smallest hop growing nations on the planet, yet the hops they produce are the most sought after. You're in for a real treat with this beer, as the all-star lineup consists of 15 grams of Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin and Motueka hops per litre of beverage. This one will be sure to thrill your taste buds until the very last drop. Fantastic. Fantastic. Water, malted barley, oats, wheat, hops and yeast. 30 IBUs, 10 EBCs, 6% ABV. Absolutely wonderful beer. Shoot to Thrill Southern Hemisphere IPA. I'm going to rate it. It's got such a great mouthfeel. The oats in the beer are making this beer taste just, that creaminess is just letting the beer stick to the mouth a little bit. It's giving it a bit of body, so it's hanging around longer in the mouth. So then when the beer hangs around longer in the mouth, the hops explode. They've got time to really explode on your palate, and you get the real kind of benefit, the 100% benefit of the hops in the taste. Fantastic balance, sweetness and bitterness. It's a tremendous beer. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 beer from Real Ale Craft Beer. As far as I'm concerned, Wild Child Brewing Company can do no wrong. They can do no wrong. It's tremendous. I hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.